Can you believe that this laptop is carrying a 360 hertz refresh rate? That is massive. Today's video is about this MSI Vector GP76. That is the model number. Okay, let's see what it looks like. This system is quite big. It's quite heavy, 17.3 inches, so it shows you it's a complete gaming machine. Okay, so very soon I'm going to check the weight. Let me just check the weight immediately. On the second weight, I hope it doesn't break my... That is a 2.8 kg. 2.8 kg. Not, it looks very big, but not too heavy. That's just 2.8 kg. You know, let's calculate it, see what it looks like. You know, so let me quickly show you the port options that we have here. Let me start from this part. You have the mic that can go into this port. You have the Type C. You have one USB port. Okay. The next thing you have here is, okay, there's no other Type C. There's one USB port and another USB port, so making 3 USBs and one Type C or Thunderbolt connector. The next one you have here is the mini display port. Then you have the for LAN. You also have your HDMI port here, and of course the charger. Now you might be confused that how come this is the port for the charger. Yes, that is how MSI have decided to do this category. I showed one in my last video. Perhaps I'm going to put the link to this one in it. So this is the charger, very big, 280 watts. Wow, 280 watts. Can you see that? That is 20 volts, 14 amps. Okay, so I'm going to remove the power cord. Let me even see what the charger, the weight of the charger is like. Not up to 1 kg, but this charger is quite heavy, my brother. It's quite heavy. Yes, so that is the charger. Another funny thing about this charger that is very unusual is the port. The port is just very different. It looks like a USB, but it's different. Let me see how it goes into it. Let me see how. Okay, it just clips, you know, it clips. Feels very nice, but the last time I checked this charger on eBay is, I can tell you, this charger is quite expensive. It's almost 200,000 naira for this charger alone. I hope I can get it cheaper when I'm ready to get it, but I actually bought it with this particular laptop at the moment, so I know it's still fine. So I'm just going to put it aside. I'm going to put it aside. Okay, so let's go into the system. Let's see what the layout looks like. Let's see what the keyboard looks like. Of course, it's 17 inches. You can expect a very wide screen. You can expect to see the performance of your games, the performance of the system via the screen. You can expect to see it in a very big way. You know, it's going to be very clear and beautiful. Now, let's check out what the keyboard looks like. Of course, I've seen so many MSI designs. The keyboard is always like this. I mean, their lettering, the way they write the W that looks like an E, then and other combinations that you have here. So let's quickly check what the function keys are like. This function keys tells you, F2 here tells you that you can duplicate the screen. F3 tells you can use the function key together. Let me see, is there a function key? Okay, it's here. You can see it's quite different. Most function keys are here, but on this MSI, we have it towards the right hand side. Okay, so this function key with F3 will disable the trackpad. Then this F4 with your function key, or with the function key alone, depending on what the setting is within the BIOS, is going to help you convert. It's going to help you disable the webcam. So if you discover your webcam is not working, you might want to check out for this particular key. Then this is of course the airplane mode. Then this is GPS. Then I don't know what this key is for. This F7, I don't know what it is for, but this F8 is actually for if you want to increase the speed of the fan when you see the fan, the system to be doing a lot of work, and the fan is struggling to work, you can just use that to increase the speed. Then a lot of other keys that you can actually get. So I'm going to go deep into the function, the performance of the system. Let's see what the performance is going to be like. So I'm putting on the system, and of course you can expect the system to be very fast. You don't expect it not to be fast, very fast, because the spec on this particular MSI VECTOR GP76 can be so surprising. So what we have here, let me start with the processor, what it looks like. Okay, let me not forget, I'm going to put on my sniping tools. Okay, I need to record my screen so that you can see exactly what I am doing. Yes, 2, 1, now. Thank you. Now, I want to check, yes, the speed. Let me just, I'm looking for my taskbar. Okay, yes, this is it. Now, the taskbar is showing me, let's see what the CPU is like. It's actually carrying a 12th generation CPU, Intel Core i7 12th generation, 12700H. Then, the details I have in here is that it's just one socket, and of course 2.7, that's the speed. The speed for each, for the processor, that's the clock speed, is 2.7 gigahertz. Okay, it's telling me it's just one socket, and then the number of cores here is 14. Then the logical processor, of course, is 20. Wow, that is quite huge. Let me confirm that in my disk management. Let me confirm that quickly. Disk management. Okay, device manager. I'll go to okay, processors. You can see that's what we have here. I have 20 different threads here. 20 threads. That's what you have. If I count it, and it's going to be 20. Okay, so that's that for that aspect. Okay, I'll go back to my, now the memory we have here is 64 gig RAM. 64 gig RAM, it's making use of 2 slots at the moment. So that means each of the slots is taking 32 gig RAM each. Then the speed of this RAM is actually 3200 MT per second. Okay. So I'll go to the next one. The disk, of course, is an SSD with 1 terabyte at the moment, 1 terabyte SSD, and you can of course increase it to as high as 4 terabytes SSD. Then let me check my GPU. The GPU here is actually carrying an Nvidia GeForce RTX 3070 Ti, and the total number of graphics here, the dedicated graphics here is actually 8 gig dedicated graphics memory. Okay, so that means I'll quickly check the details of this memory that we have here for that GPU. I'm checking the details. I want to see the CUDA core and few other speeds that makes it up. Now the version here is version 591.74. Okay. Okay, it's up. Now the driver version here is 591.74. Okay, that's what I mentioned earlier. Then the CUDA core is 5888. That is a lot. Sincerely, that's a lot. The maximum graphics power is 150 watts for the graphics card. That is the amount of watt it takes from the charger whenever you are doing any high-end job. It could be for video editing work, it could be gaming, it could be animation, it could be architectural kind of design. Any of those, the charger will be consuming. The GPU will be taking 150 watts whenever you are using it for high-end jobs. So let me just leave this page quickly and go to the next thing. So the next thing on my list is just, okay, the embedded GPU here is just there. So I'll close this page. Okay. Now the next thing is, what I would quickly like to do is to run. I want to see what the score is going to be like for the GPU. This is a 12th generation GPU. So let's see what the CPU benchmark is going to be like. So I'm running it. I'll come back to it and see how fast it's going to look like. Yes, I felt a little bit of lag there. The CPU is working. In fact, let me see the benchmark is running. Let me see if what the CPU is like through my thermal camera. Okay, versus how you feel it as an individual. Okay. Now, the next thing I'll be looking at is, so my CPU benchmark is running. I'll also try and see if I can run the GPU benchmark. Okay, let me just check the details, the power rating of this system via this app. I have an app here called HW Monitor, and this monitor is going to show me details. Okay, the desktop on it, the temperature the desktop is using, you can see it, 56 centigrades. Available memory, Core 7. Okay, I'm just trying to see anything that would be meaningful here for everyone. Orange, okay. Yes, Western Digital. That's my storage. GPU. Yeah, let me check that on the GPU. At the moment, the system is not doing much, so the GPU is just running at 47.5. Okay. There's not much activity. So I'm still going to play some games on this system for you to see what the performance is like. So at this moment, I would just like to close my HW monitor. Okay, I want to see what the screen resolution is like, and as well check the refresh rate. So on this screen now, I'm getting 1920 by 1080. So that's often like the usual screen resolution. Okay, so that's the recommended I have here. But let's see what wow, this is actually 360.01 hash rate. Refresh rate, I mean. The refresh rate is 360. This is the highest I've ever seen. So that means the refresh rate we're having here, it shows that your gaming experience is going to be very smooth. It also shows that your other applications, whatever kind of application you want to use with here, that the screen is going to, handle the capacity of the GPU properly. I think you understand what I mean. If you don't understand what I mean, maybe you should just make your comments in the comment section. Give us your comments in the comment section to let us know if you need more videos, on certain aspects of this kind of performance related laptops. I mean, if you want videos on the GPU, how it relates with the screen, how the refresh rate on the screen can actually handle the work on the GPU, let us know. If you have if there's any subject you want us to touch on, please let us know via the comments section. Okay, so my CPU benchmark is running. It's almost done. I'll go to the next thing. I'll test the sound very soon. Okay, okay, let me close this. Okay. Yes. I'm going to enlarge my screen. My CPU, the CPU benchmark here is the multi-core score is 10,749. That's high. The single core score is just 2,290. That is very high. That is very high compared to all of what we've been, all of the system we have been reviewing on this channel. So we have a very high performing system. Don't forget the RAM on this system is also 64 gig. So the multi-core performance here is very high. These are the details. I want to pause that for a while. These are the details, so you can pause the video to check it properly. Then these are the details as well for the single core, processing. Wow. So it's very high. So what I'll do, I want to see if I can run the GPU benchmark. I want to see what it's going to look like. I have that on the page. Okay. Then quickly, I'm going to do some other quick tests. The fan control, LCD, the screen. Let me test the screen if it works fine. Okay, everything looks fine. There are no blurry parts or no shadow anywhere. The next one on my red, everything is looking fine. Everything is looking fine. Okay. So my screen is fine. Let me turn the speakers. So this side is fine. This side is fine. The sound is actually very nice. Okay, let me test. Let me try and see if I can find any video. I'll just play on it. Okay, there's no video here at the moment, so I won't take too much of the time. Okay, I found one. Okay, couldn't play it properly. Wow. Please, I mean, you won't believe this. The GPU benchmark on this system is actually 125,133. 125,000 benchmark I am finding on this. That's huge. That is what an RTX 3070 Ti 8GB dedicated can actually give you. Wow. That is huge, sincerely. That is huge. It's a lot. And this is the details. This is the detail that you can find that gives you that. I have my background blur, the face detection, horizon detection, egg detection, Gaussian blur, feature matching, stereo matching, particle physics. Those are the details from the GPU guide. You know, those languages there are quite, foreign. It's for the builders, it's for those that design it. So, but we have the GPU score here. It is very good. 125,133. Wow, this system is huge, sincerely. It is. If you have the money, it's actually a 12th gen, 2022. You know, some 4 years ago it was produced, so you can expect quite a lot. Okay. So what other thing am I going to do? Let me see. Yes. So I'm trying to play some games on the system right now, just to see what it actually looks like in real life. So my game is up, and I'm also recording the screen, and I can have it here on the 64 gig RAM PC. The RAM that is being consumed at the moment is just a bit lesser than 8 gig for this particular game, and so this is soccer. The refresh rate here is also, you can see it is 360 FPS. That is the FPS rating, and it's just moving around that 360, going down a bit. It drops to, okay, increasing. You can see what it's showing us. Then the CPU here, yes, the GPU and the CPU, they are also working at their optimal level, because I can have 85 degrees for the GPU, and the CPU as well is taking like 3 degrees and just fluctuating between 80 and 96. So for this game, it is quite huge. Let's see what the characters look like. Let's see how the movement.
Yes, and he's had a hit. Oh, the ball's run loose here. Gabriel.
The truth is, a laptop cannot be this big or unique, and I wouldn't lose in it. I'm going to see what is inside. I want to see it, and you too need to see it. I really like this design, but I always like it when this heatsink is actually painted as black. When this heatsink is the same color as this, I always like it, just for the aesthetics, nothing more. but I like this design. It's looking very unique. This is your wireless card here. It's a unique design. You see this? They left out this port for the SD card. This port left for SD card. The battery is very wide. Okay. It's a nice design. I'm going to cover it back. A laptop can't be this big without opening it up. Yes. A laptop can be this different and unique. I always like to open it up. I want to see what the inside part is like. I've done that and I satisfied myself. I don't know if you are satisfied. Make sure you like this video and make sure you as well subscribe.